All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another edition of Stout Sunday. All right, and joining me this morning, we have Mr. Michael Kormeroff, the Stout King in Brooklyn. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
And we have Mr. Jean-Pierre, the Beverage Ramble. He's down there in Georgia. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
And we have Mr. Ronald J. Terrio, the Louisiana Stout Governor. Good morning, Ron.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
Good crowd at that Tulane game.
Not as good as you would think. It was so hot in the middle of the day. A lot of people didn't want to sit out in the sun, including me. So I found shade and I sat in the shade.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get right into this. We've got to go around and tell everybody what we're drinking this morning. We'll start with Michael Kormeroff. What are you drinking this morning, Michael?
I have a Southern Tier Nitro Thick Mint, which is an imperial milk stout ale with natural flavors. And it's a nitro, so it's a 12-ounce can, but it only has 9.6 ounces of liquid because, you know, there's a widget in the bottom, and the widget, when you open it up, has to have room to spread the beer out. So the whole top of the can is empty of beer, so whatever. And this can is best by the 1st of March 2023. So I mean, it's probably relatively fresh. I don't know how long their time limit is on this. Whatever. Made with milk sugar.
All right, I've had that one. That's pretty good stuff. Oh, good morning to Elbow in the chat. Cheers to you.
So we're going to open these the next time around, right?
Yeah, we'll just go through really quick and tell everybody what we're drinking. Then we'll go around and give our thoughts and all that next time around. So we will go to Jean. What are you drinking this morning?
And I am drinking the Left Hand Peanut Butter Milk Stout, 6.2%, 25 IBUs. First time trying this, and I already have it in my glass right now. So I will be checking it out momentarily.
All right, good deal. And Mr. J. Terrio there joined a little late, so I don't know what you're drinking. Why don't you tell everybody what you got this morning?
Yeah, Jean, you have a yum right there. All right, I have one from Monroe, Louisiana. It's called Flying Tiger Milk Stout, and it's 6.7% alcohol with 33 bitterness units. It's brewed in Monroe, Louisiana. And you know what? It's got no date on the can, guys.
What would Greg say?
He'd say, that's horse hockey.
Did you say 6.7%? 6.7%?
Yeah, 6.7.
All right. Okay, never heard of Flying Tiger before. What is that the name of the brewery as well, or is that?
Yeah,
okay.
Flying Tiger Brewery, and this is their milk stout. And I got it on special at the Salvage Store for 79 cents.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, you can't beat that. My goodness. All right. Sounds good. I've got from the Brewing Project. They're out of Wisconsin. This is their Slur. They label it as an imperial stout, but it's only 7.43%. I think the cutoff, or I like to think the cutoff is 8%, so it's close, but not quite there. It's an imperial stout with milk, sugar, raspberry, and cacao nibs. So raspberry chocolate sounds amazing. Nice dessert style stout. Kind of a crazy. The can art actually reminded me of The Simpsons, although it's not that. It's just its own little thing there. But
well, it kind of does. Looking at it, it's
got the yellow guy there, with a smaller yellow guy on his back. Anyway, yeah, never. I've had a few beers from the Brewing Project. I've enjoyed them. I haven't seen any of their stuff up here, but saw this the other day, so I picked it up. Looking forward to getting into it, which we will do here right now. Ronnie S. is in the chat as well. Crouching Tiger, Flying Lion. There you go. Cheers, Ronnie. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Let's go ahead and get back around. We'll go to Michael and let you tell us a little bit about your Southern Tier.
Okay, there's the can again, as you see. We do our center extreme pour here.
The full nitro effect going on there.
I don't know how well you can see it in the light, but you do see the shooting. If nothing else, these nitro beers are fun to look at, whether you like them or not.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did it have a widget in there?
Yeah, in the bottom.
Okay.
In the bottom of the can. Okay, so anyway, it's a little bit. As you notice in the glass, if you can't see through the light, it's settled now to this point, and it's going to eventually move up to here. But it has a nice creamy beige head, kind of like a beige tan combination head, and it's settling in very creamy looking. Let me get a nose on it. Well, if you do not like mint, this is one to stay away from because that's all you're getting in the nose. Maybe a little bit of roasted malt in the background, but it's definitely secondary. Mint is the lead nose for sure. And I personally like mint. So for me, this was, a no-brainer. But without further ado, cheers, everybody.
All right. Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
Yeah. I like your headphones.
I figure at least this way Audrey can hear you. I mean, she can still hear me. I can't hear anybody else. Okay. Mint is your primary taste, but it's interesting now because it is so creamy and so smooth. It's almost like the mint fans out across the top, and now you can get a little bit of chocolate in the taste as well. Maybe some background coffee as well, but the chocolate is the primary taste after the mint. And again, if you are a mint lover, this is a beer you have to somehow find and pick up because it is like your Andes candies, like your Girl Scout cookies, the thin mint ones. It's got that, and with the kind of creamy, kind of lactose feel that you get with the taste of it. It's delicious. And I did mention at the beginning that it's 10% alcohol. The alcohol is really well masked. This would be super dangerous. It's almost like as you're sipping at this, you can't taste any alcohol.
Mm.
Well, at 9.6 ounces wouldn't be too dangerous.
That's true. It's definitely what you'd call a shorter pour than it would be in a full 12-ounce glass. But I guess what you have to do with the 9.6 ounces is just enjoy that and say, well, you had to somehow deliver it with the widget, so you have no choice but to shorten the amount in the can. This, to me, beer goes highly recommended. And it's interesting. Maybe a beer like this, which, Southern Tier does brew some nitros. They're not quite as prolific as Left Hand with their nitros, but I think what they're trying to show is that they can do it, and this is part of their Blackwater series, and this is one of their better ones. They had an orange one that I didn't like.
What about the coconut? The coconut truffle one, I think, is my favorite.
The coconut truffle one is good also. Have you had the orange one before? Because there's an orange one also. Something with orange.
No, I have not. It's a stout.
It's a stout like this, but it's
I haven't.
Orange flavor, and there could even be a fourth part of the Blackwater series. There might be another one too. This one, I'm lucky the Food Co-op now handles it, and the fact that it's good until March 1st, I'm going to keep buying it because you can stockpile this at least through next year. And it's 10%, so it'll hold up past then too, I would think.
Right.
I'll come back and give you a number when we come around next time.
All right. Good deal. Sounds good. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We will pull up Jean now and let him tell us a little bit about his left hand. You've been on a left hand kick, last few weeks? You've been drinking
Yes, past couple of days. Yeah, definitely. And I didn't do a rehash of that milk stout because since I had already done one, did a review of it. But yeah, I mean, I've when I was down in Mobile, left hand was very hard to find. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like, at certain places I would go to. I would see it here, and then I would drive maybe a good 20 miles, and I would see it there, so I would grab it. But, again, those are all for review purposes only at the time. But since I've been up here, I mean, the stuff I've been finding here, I mean, it's just been incredible. So I've been quite blessed, to say the least. Yes, so I'm drinking the Left Hand Peanut Butter Milk Stout, 6.2% ABV, 25 IBUs, and this is right what I have right here in my glass. Y'all can see pretty well. Pretty nice. A nice little head earlier. I was sipping a little bit of it. Was that Jake?
It's dark.
Yeah, so quite nice. Using 2-row crystal chocolate, Munich, royal oats, flake barley, and roasted barley malts, and CTZ and U.S. Golden hops. And has lactose, peanuts, natural peanut butter flavor. So, take a whiff. Smelling this, definitely the peanut butter. It was hits the nose immediately. I say this is an adult peanut butter cup, and I would definitely agree with that. So, all right, let's have at it. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers,
John.
Cheers.
Peanut butter, chocolate, definitely on the tongue. A little dry finish in the end, but I guess that's okay. So, what thing I just had? I had a while back. That peanut butter porter from Back 40 Brewing Company, the PBJ or I think that's what it was. The peanut butter from Back 40 porter. I think that's the name of it, right, Jay? The peanut butter porter. Yeah,
something like that.
It's quite similar, but I would say it's a good more chocolate than peanut butter I'm getting on the tongue in this.
Is the lactose a factor in the creaminess?
Yes, it is. Very much so, Michael. Very much so. It's not bad for 6.2%, And y'all know I like heavy, strong stouts, but it's okay to have something at this level, 6.2. But lactose is there. Definitely, Marseille, more chocolate than peanut butter. Nice good dry finish. Nothing negative when it's dry. So, and a bit creamy too. So, this is pretty good. This is good. Well, hopefully, if they're watching, Left Hand, you can do an Imperial Porter, Imperial Peanut Butter Milk Stout. That'd be good. But I guess higher ABV. But yeah, this is not bad, guys. So I'm coming around and get my score. I'll keep sipping on this, and yeah, this is a very nice product I'm having.
All right. Sounds good. It's really good. I've had it on draft a few times. It's like dynamite on draft. You should barrel age it. Do a barrel age version, Left Hand, and then we'd all be.
Yes.
All right. Let's pull up Mr. Terrio with his Flying Tiger Milk Stout. See,
he's the governor now.
That's right.
New title.
See how his 79-cent beer is treating him this morning.
Flying Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Now, Jean-Pierre's beer was about 10% too low for what he likes. But this is 6.7. Okay, Flying Tiger from Monroe, Louisiana, named after President James Monroe. All right, very dark brown. It's a beige, thin beige. It would be thicker if it was a narrower brim glass. All right, should be drinking in a nonic glass, but I'm drinking out of this Diamore cocktail liqueur glass. Okay, the aroma.
Good tasting glass.
Tasting glass. He doesn't mean that the glass is good for tasting. He means
No, I wouldn't recommend that.
he means you pour beer in it and you taste it whilst it's in the glass.
Right.
It smells like these components, but it's faint. But here's you get dark cherry, dark roasted barley malt, which smells and tastes like like dark brown bread crust, and cream and coffee. So like coffee and cream. Doesn't contain coffee, doesn't contain cream. Well, actually contains lactose, so I guess that's cream, huh? Like, okay, sort of like. So here's the ingredients: pale malt, chocolate malt, and roasted barley. So 3 types of malt: pale, chocolate, and roasted. And then they got EKG and Fuggle hops, EKG and Fuggles hops from England. Now, the taste. Cheers.
Cheers, Jay.
Cheers, huh?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You get like a faint dark cherry. You get the cream and coffee and the dark brown bread crust. There's a creaminess throughout from the lactose, of course. And the body's medium. The finish is actually dry. On a bitterness scale, it's probably 2.5 out of 5 hop cones. And on a sweetness scale, it's probably 2.5 out of 5 sugar cubes. So we could say it's balanced. It's really enjoyable. I don't know what people think about milk stouts. It's let's see, it is mid-range in the sense that Guinness Extra Stout is 5.6 and the Foreign Extra is 7.5. So this was falling mid-range between those two. It's not a nitro stout, although they apparently used to make a nitro stout, but they're not showing it on the website anymore. Maybe they had problems with it or whatever. But yeah, for the deal I got, I mean, this is worth $2.99, $3.99 a 4-pack. It's probably the normal price. It's probably $3.99 a can, right? So it's probably $15.96 a 4-pack. But when I saw it for 79 cents a can, I thought, you know what? There is no downside to it.
I would have bought more than one too at that price and just taken my chances.
Yeah, I saw 2 cans, so I bought the 2 I saw. Believe me, if I'd have seen 12, I'd have had a 12-pack. But you take what you can get, right?
Right.
I think it's wonderful. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a date, so whatever score I give it is going to be 10% less. And I think that makes a lot of sense to all of us. Now, thank you for your time.
All right. So I should just change the name to Milk Stout Sunday because we've all got milk stouts this morning. Mine, it's not labeled as a milk stout, but it clearly lists on the side of the label that it contains milk sugar, raspberry, and cacao nibs. And they also claim, like I said, that it's imperial at 7 point. Oh my goodness. Well,
Johnny boy.
My goodness, it is really, really active. My God. Made a mess.
It's okay, legendary. It's okay, legendary Johnny boy.
I got it under control here, but yeah, it was very, very active. Started coming out of the can and spewing over before I had fully opened it. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There it is. I don't think I've seen too many stouts that are this carbonated, this charged right out of the can like that. So I'm getting chocolate. I am getting a little bit of the raspberry, but it's not as strong as I was hoping for. It's mostly chocolate, some roasted malt, so toasty, bready notes. Well, the more I sniff it, the more raspberry is starting to come through. It smells good. I wish it didn't pour with that huge of a head. It's going to be hard to get to the beer here, but I'm gonna go for it. That's all I'm getting. No alcohol presence, almost 8%. It just smells kind of like a raspberry chocolate dessert type beverage. So, cheers.
Cheers, John.
Cheers. Oh, wow. The raspberry is really coming through on the palate, which is good because I was hoping for a lot of raspberry. And based off of the aroma, I didn't think I was going to be getting it. So, yeah, raspberry, chocolate. It does have a creaminess to it from the milk sugar. Kind of also has a little bit of like a vanilla flavor, which could be coming from the milk sugar, just that sweetness. And there's a good bit of tartness too from the raspberry. It's sweet, it's tart, it's really nice. Carbonation is medium. Which is actually surprising considering the way that it poured. It's not super heavily carbonated, but it was very charged pouring it in the glass, for sure. Very nice beer. It's pretty straightforward. You get raspberry, you get chocolate, you get that smooth, creamy mouthfeel, medium carbonation, which is the biggest surprise with this one. Nice, smooth finish. There's no alcohol at 7.43 coming through. Let's see if I can pour a little bit more without it getting crazy now that it's been opened. Yeah. It still wants to build a really big head, though. You got to be very, very gentle when you're pouring this one. Which, by the way, I didn't describe the appearance. It is pretty much jet black. I can't see through it at all, even when I hold it up to the light. So, jet black appearance on this one. Yeah, this is an enjoyable beer. It's exactly what they say it is on the label. It's a raspberry chocolate dessert type milk stout. So I'll keep sipping on it, come back around. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. Let's pull up the comments really quick and catch up. We've got Craig Swenson in the chat. Flacco's in the chat.
Flacco.
Craig says he's only had the Dragon Milk Stout. What do you mean only had? Nobody's like ever? That's the only stout you've ever consumed in your life, Craig? That's unfortunate if that's the case. And Paul says that either Jay has a tiny glass or very large hands. That's an interesting comment. Okay. And Paul also says that tomorrow, yeah, that's right, Thanksgiving, it's Canadian Thanksgiving. He says he's going to brew a thick stout tomorrow. So, all right. Cheers to that. Sounds good. Oh, the only milk stout. Okay, that's I gotcha. So that's the only milk stout that Craig has ever had. Okay. And actually, though, you know what? The Dragon's Milk Stout is not actually a milk stout. It's just the name of the. They don't put lactose in Dragon's Milk. In the regular Dragon's Milk, they do have a milk stout canned version, but the bottles are not. They don't have lactose in them. I'm pretty sure.
That's talking about the one from New Holland, right?
New Holland Brewing, yeah, the Dragon's Milk Stout lineup. That doesn't even have lactose or milk sugar in it. I think it's just the name of the lineup. Like the original Dragon's Milk, I know doesn't have milk sugar. Maybe some of the variants, but anyway, it's neither here nor there, I guess. Cheers to Jeremy in the chat as well. All right, let's go back around here. We've got go back to Michael with his thick mint.
Okay, there's the can again, like we said before, 12-ounce can, only 9.6 ounces of liquid to consume. As you can see, I've been consuming it, but this is just the way it goes. It was only about here when, that's all there was. I've had half already. Trying to sip slowly, so I still have some while you guys are describing yours. This is excellent. I mean, really high level. I think it's in the very strong A category, and I'm going to give it a 97.
Oh, wow.
For what it is. Now, again, if you're not a mint lover, turn the other way and say, give some to John and Nilly or somebody else who does like mint, or me. I'll take more. But it's not for people who don't like mint. It's funny, when we did the tasting on Thursday, only one of the people beside me actually tasted or smelled the mint, which was shocking. I was trying, because I was the person leading it. It was my beer. I'm doing stuff. Can't you taste it? And people are going, oh, I don't know. And they're taking all these other guesses, cinnamon, and going through this whole thing. And only one person, the guy to my right, Brian, guessed it. And
interesting.
It's again, everybody's palate is different. Some people have more trouble picking up mint, I guess, or whatever, or can describe it as a beer flavor. But for the most part, it was well respected in the tasting and did well. So, it didn't do as well as the Imperial Stouts did in the tasting. And unfortunately, nobody does. But it's 10%, so it's kind of Imperial in its own way. But we had some stuff that was like 12 and 14, and that stuff does better.
You're right. Not like the super Imperial stuff.
You get into that higher level, and they can have more taste in those just based on, the way they're laid out and what they do. This one for 10%, like I said, is very dangerous. You really do not want to, chug it, because after you do for up, but like Jay said, it's only 9.6 ounces. So it's not a lot of liquid in it, but enough that you would feel it for sure. And, I will have some further comments when we get to the show and tell section, but definitely a plus and a buy for anybody who sees it.
Awesome. Cheers, Michael. 97. That's going to be tough to beat. John with his left hand. Peanut butter. It's non-imperial, so it's already starting off at a disadvantage with John.
Yes.
So we're probably looking at B range.
Very much disadvantage. I needed it stronger. But overall, this is a very enjoyable stout, I must say. Again, a good balance, more chocolate and coffee, just a slight. Nice creamy texture to it. Good dry finish down the end. This is very enjoyable. I'm going to go 92 out of 100 for this one.
All right.
Did a really good job with this one, so liked it a lot.
92, okay.
Before I start drinking, I'll probably, like I do, take it out of the refrigerator and leave it sitting on the counter for a little bit, let it warm. So probably score will be higher, but oh well. But still, 92 out of 100 is pretty good for this stout.
Yeah, not bad at all. All right, Mr. Terrio, what are you thinking about the Flying Tiger Milk Stout for rating?
Well, I'm thinking good thoughts. I poured the rest of it. I like beers that have almost all upside and no downside. Now, would I prefer if it was 12 or 13%? I mean, I'm probably related to Jean-Pierre in some way.
If it was 12, 13% for 79 cents a can, oh my goodness. You were talking about bang for your buck.
Oh, baby. It's a bang for my buck right now at 6.7.
Yeah.
It's really creamy. Well, it's relatively creamy. It's enjoyable. It's roasted, but not burnt. Now, you know how some of these companies, they cannot roast barley without burning it. And then you drink it, it tastes like charcoal or cigarette ashes. But this does not. It's not a heavy beer. People are always saying, oh, stouts, I never drink that. It's so heavy and thick. You guys know most stouts are not really heavy or thick. It's just it's a misperception, honestly. I was at Mathern's last month and I couldn't help myself. I had to go buy the last bottle of Bourbon County stout that they had, 2021. I couldn't help it. Y'all don't judge me. I couldn't help it. It was $12.99.
That's a good price, man. The 2021 is still $14 here. A couple.
I had to revisit it, you know.
Yeah, it's a good. You can't go wrong with Bourbon County, and the last one on the shelf. Yeah, that's probably the last one you'll see for 2021. We got the new lineup coming out in November. So
Yeah, now
that's
they've
exciting.
got all that Bourbon County cola on the shelf.
Yeah,
The one that's supposed to taste like a cola, and it's still on the shelf. They got probably 18 bottles on the shelf, and I'm like, ain't nobody buying that for $20.99
Nope,
because
not me.
A, it's $20.99, and B, it tastes like cola. Well, oh wow, I can't believe it. A beer that tastes like cola. No thanks.
The Giants trail 20-10 at halftime.
Yep, I'm watching it. So
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
little bit disappointed how we're not being aggressive on offense, but
You got the second half, John. Don't give up until it's over.
Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. Now, but as far as the score, cheers to the Toronto Blue Jays. Cheers to
that was crazy. That was a crazy game. Toronto and Seattle.
Cheers to the Tampa Bay Rays. Cheers to the St. Louis Cardinals. Now you can go cry in your beer. I'm gonna score this a 94, a 94.
All right.
We're not doing show and tell until everybody scores it, though, right?
Yeah, we'll do that at the very end here, which is coming up.
So there's only one game today, and that's Mets Padres, and that will be this evening at 7:00. So,
right.
And it should be a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Bassett versus Musgrove.
Yeah.
And I know Michael's going to be wearing his Padres shirt. Which is,
I just don't like the Mets. I can't help it. It's just kind of the way I feel.
So,
They're the National League interlopers after my team left, so I'm still bitter. But
he's not mad at the team that betrayed the city. He's mad at the team that
took over.
Yeah, like that. Okay, it's weird.
It's kind of like it's reverse psychology.
So you are a Giants fan or a Dodgers fan, Michael?
Giant fan.
Okay.
I'm still a Giants fan.
Yeah.
But they're out of the playoffs. They finished 81-81.
You Phillies got to play my Braves. Josh is in the chat. That should be a good series. I think they start Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Shows you how strong the NL East is. 3 of the teams are still in.
The whole National League is strong, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I need to give my rating here real quick on the Slurp. This is really enjoyable. Honestly, the carbonation is, I said medium. The more I drink it, the more I'm picking up on it. It's really a high carbonation for a stout. One of the highest carbonated stouts I think I've ever had. It does have some nice head retention, glass lacing. It's really, the raspberry keeps building the more I sip on it, which is nice. The chocolate's there too. And it does maintain that nice creamy mouthfeel throughout, which is what they were going for with the milk sugar in there. Carbonation is almost a little bit too much. I think I'm going to take a few points off for the super high carbonation. It just doesn't really fit the style so much. But all the flavors are on point. Maybe a barrel-aged version would mellow out the carbonation and add a little bit more complexity to it. But, I'm just, I don't know, I'm spoiled on barrel-aged beers, I guess. I'm going to give it a 95 out of 100. It's definitely a solid A. It's got everything in it. All the flavors are there that they're advertising. I think they did exactly what they wanted to do with this beer. It's just the carbonation might be a little off-putting to somebody that's used to stouts, like just, I don't know, 95% of stouts where you have a lot less carbonation. It's unusual to have this much carbonation, but very delightful beer. Definitely enjoy it. Another winner from the Brewing Project. And Whiskey Scout just tuned in. He says he just woke up. Sorry he missed it. That's all right, Robert. We'll get you in here again soon. Appreciate you joining last week. And we'll have to do the brewery taste comparison. He was talking about doing 2 different years of the same beer from the brewery, that coconut macaroons, I think, when we talked about it last week. Anyway, no worries, Robert. We'll see you soon. All right. Cheers to everybody in the chat. Great chat today. So, yes, it is that time of the show where we go back around. We've given all our ratings. We'll post the scores on the bottom there for anybody that might be tuning in late. Are you raising? Hi, Ron. Yeah, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, John and Neely.
Yes.
you think that brewing project beer would be something to drink in a housing project? Like you could do a video brewing project from the housing project?
I think you'd be the coolest guy in the housing project if you were drinking this, because I feel like most people in the projects would be drinking, like Mickey's Malt Liquor, Still Reserve, that type of stuff, because these are pricey. These are pricey beers. If you're in a housing project and you're drinking this kind of beer, then you're poorly managing your money, because you could get out of there if you're buying these types of beers.
Okay, I was just saying you call it the brewing project from the housing project. Okay.
The Brewing Project Housing Project Special Edition Raspberry Imperial.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go back around and talk about some show and tell stuff and events coming up on our channels. If we've got anything want to talk about, Friar Tuck is in the chat too, by the way. He's drinking a Lithuanian hard coffee. Lithuanian hard coffee. Okay.
Wow.
Hopefully it's Lithuanian. When the Rinkuzgia brewery comes to mind. I wonder if it's a Rinkuzgia hard coffee. Anyway, good luck to you, Friar Tuck.
Because Robert's having trouble. Oklahoma let him down again.
Yeah.
I was a beat down.
Yeah, Sooner bomb out. You mean Rinkuskaya.
Rinkuskaya, yeah. So that's it. That's the one. That's what I said. Can't you hear me? Right, Ron?
No, I heard you say Rinkuzia.
Anyway, all right. I know Michael's got some show and tell. So
okay, you can give me full screen so you can see this bottle close up if you want.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing because this is from Goose Island, and yet this is a 2018 Brasserie Noir, and what it is it's an imperial stout aged in Cabernet barrels for up to 12 months. So I'm of the thought process that this is actually brewed in Chicago at the Bourbon County Brewing Works. That it doesn't, because they brew their other Goose Island beers somewhere else, but this one I think is probably brewed by Bourbon County. It just has a Goose Island label on it. It's 11.8% alcohol, so it's not as much as the typical Bourbon Counties. On the side it says contains wheat. And this one was bottled November 15th of 2017. So that's why it's a 2018. I've had this before a couple of times with Giant Space Monkey, and it's definitely a quality beer. And if you ever see any of this Brasserie Noir in Goose Island, if you see them, I don't think this is something that's brewed regularly, though. I think they just brewed that possibly one time, and this is an older edition, and I'm still sitting on it. I will eventually try it. I'm going to show you something else too. It's funny, in 2018, during my European trip, this was picked up at the Ockel Brewery in Belgium, and I still have this, so I've been sitting on it. It's a 9.5 ounce Brewing Extra. So I've been cellaring this too. And it's funny, this was a monastery brewery. When I went, the remaining monk has since fled, and now they're just a regular Belgian brewery. So they can no longer put Trappist on their bottles.
Oh, man.
Wonder what happened to wonder why the monk fled. He drank too much of the beer, and
I don't know what it was, because I can remember I was on the internet one day just kind of looking at different stuff, and I came across, and it goes monastery brewery no longer maintains a monk on the ground, so we have to decertify them.
Oh my God!
I guess a monk has to live on the grounds. He doesn't have to actually be involved in the brewing process, but he has to be there in order for them.
Yeah, you think they could lure somebody else in there? It's like, look, we got a great gig for you. All you got to do is live here, drink the beer.
I guess it's not easy. The monks follow this tough regimen, and you have to go through that lifestyle and everything. So I guess it's not. And then they actually follow it up to make sure you don't have any, kind of like monks you're kind of sticking in there who are really not monks who are claiming they are, kind of thing. It's gotta be real. What's that? No monk ringers. It has to be real monks.
All about the beer.
But I had both this and they had a blonde also at the time when I was there, and they're both really good. And it was interesting when you're at the brewery. I'm always, when Audrey and I travel together, we're always the oldest people. There, it seemed like not only were we not the oldest, we were among the youngest people that were there. And I was like, I guess 68 at the time. There were all these, 80s and 90s people, year-olds, and they were sitting around on their table drinking the beer and just out. A lot of them bicycling in because there were a lot of bicycles lined up there too. Belgium and Holland are both big biking nations, so a lot of people ride bicycles around. But I would, if you can find some of their beers now, I'm sure they're still well brewed. It's not like, just because it says Trappist that it's better. It's just, they don't have certification anymore.
Right.
But this one was certified, so it has Trappist on it.
Those countries there are very healthy lifestyle. They eat food, but they're out moving about. They're walking, they're riding, they're in the air, just moving about,
There are still ones existing in Belgium. There's one in Holland. There's one in Austria, and there's one in the United States in Massachusetts. So they still exist.
It closed. It closed down.
Oh, the one in Massachusetts closed
The one
now?
in Massachusetts?
Okay, so we no longer have a Trappist one in the United States then. I still have some beer from them, too, that I'm sitting on also. A couple of bottles of something from them, too. I have my largest amount of cellared action than I've ever had in my career. I got boxes of stuff here that I'm sitting on.
You and David Garland ought to team up.
Well, I'm nowhere near the museum level. I mean, his is, past me. Also, Shane Fudge has me too. But for me, normally once I get to a certain point, I tire of it and I drink it. Lately, I've been able to hold off. So it's a good sign that I'm mellowing as I get older, I guess.
I'm planning a trip out that way soon, Michael, to help you log all of your.
Okay, you can come and we can drink some of it. Sounds like a good time.
Right.
But that's all I got.
All right, good deal. Yeah, I would really, when you were the Goose Island Stout aged in the wine barrels, that I know it's fared very well in your tastings. I have been looking for that since I first found out about it, and it's nowhere to be found up here. The only place I haven't checked yet is like a Total Wine and More. There's one in Woburn, but it's kind of a hike. But yeah, I'll check at a Total Wine and More. That'd probably be the most likely place that would carry it. But yeah, it sounds like it was very limited too, especially since your bottles are a little bit older. But sounds good. All right, so Jean, I know you've probably got a few things coming up on the channel, maybe some.
Yeah, I do. But I don't feel like getting up and wrapping it. I'll just tell you what I got.
All right.
Yeah, I got the Allagash wheat beer that I showed on Friday when I was with Jay for the Fandango Friday. I got the other can of the Left Hand Milk Stout, and I got Wicked Wheat Coastal Hazy IPA, and a bunch of other stuff. I didn't really do much shopping yesterday. I was just kind of out and about, a few little errands, and then stopping at that brewery, Still Fire, and coming in and then enjoying myself there yesterday, and walking through that park where they had that barbecue fest, and then came back and watched a lot of the sporting events here. Didn't want to over my beer tab at the brewery, so I came back home, grabbed me a little something, and then ate and watched the baseball and the football. So so that's what the beers I have coming up, and I'll be joining Jay Wednesday night pumpkin beers for his channel at 7:30 Eastern, and Fandango Friday, of course, 6:30 Eastern. And John, if you're hosting, I'll be here for Stout Sunday next week.
I'm gonna do it as much as I can now. Things have kind of settled down, and I should be good at least for the next month or so. But Jay has done a great job.
Thank you, Jay.
Hosting in my. So yeah, cheers to Mr. Terrio, keeping the dream alive all this time. And I'm sure you've got some stuff you want to show and tell as well. I will go ahead and blow you up here. Not literally, but there you go, figuratively. So you can talk about what you've got, what deals you got, what's coming up on your channel, what have you. What you got?
I'm gonna blow you up. Mama said to blow you up. All right, now Jean-Pierre is right. Jean-Pierre is right. This Wednesday, live on the internet, we are doing pumpkin beers at 7:30, 7:20, 7:30 Eastern time for about an hour. Pumpkin beers, any pumpkin beer is going to work. Pumpkin beers. Now, if you show up and say, well, I have a strawberry beer, will that work? No, a pumpkin beer will work, though. You know, ESBs don't work on Stout Sunday, and strawberry beers won't work on Pumpkin Wednesday, but any pumpkin beers. Secondly, Fandango Friday, right? Any liquors and or liqueurs. Y'all were talking about the monks. The same thing happened with Christian Brothers Brandy. The Christian Brothers Brandy used to be produced by the Christian Brothers Catholic Order of Monks. And they that's how they made a lot of their money selling that brandy. They made it on their premises at the Abbey, but they in the United States. But the problem was there was just one guy, Brother Theodore, who made all, you know, he was like director of the brandy production, right? Well, he was getting so old in 1987, he said, well, I got to retire. I'm like 90 years old, whatever. So he said, now the next monk can step up and take over. The next monk can step up and take over.
Yeah.
Take over, like Larry Bell at Bell's Brewing. Now my children can take over. And they were like, we don't want to do that. That's a lot of work. So what happened was the Christian Brothers said, well, nobody's going to take over. That's it. We don't want to shut down the production because, you know, we get a lot of money from this. We've been doing it since the 1880s, after all. So Heaven Hill jumped in and said, we'll take it over. Ha ha ha. And we'll give you a little cut of the action type of thing, and we'll run it. So that's what happened since 1987, back when some legendary beer reviewers were born.
Right.
Heaven Hill took over the production of the Christian Brothers brandy, but they still kind of associated with it to help out that Catholic order. But they don't have a strict rule like, you know, with the Trappist beers where, you know, it has to be that.
Right.
But that's the story on that. All right.
Best brandy I've ever had. Christian Brothers Sacred Bond.
Oh boy, David still has some left, and I'm always thinking, why?
Yeah. You're not doing. You're supposed to drink it, David. Come on.
Why do you still have a quarter of the bottle left? I know that wouldn't be happening when. Anyway, if y'all are up at dawn, and my friend David, talking about him, he's always ragging on me like 5:50 a.m., 5:40 a.m. You got a problem. Oh yeah, you got a problem. I said, no, I have a hobby. Got your words in it.
And that's what people need to understand when I do my reviews. Oh, why are you doing these reviews for? It's fun. It's entertainment. I'm just having fun.
Right. You got your terminology confused. So at dawn, I have the great, legendary, best value Cuddy Sark Prohibition edition. And I've got a lot of whiskey reviewers coming on my channel making comments about this is the hidden jewel, you know, of the whiskey world. 100
and
proof.
You got a good deal on that one, right?
It's 100 proof if you can take it. Oh, did I get a deal? Okay, if you get a regular size bottle, it's $30. This is a 1,000 milliliters. This is 25% more than that. This is a liter.
Yeah.
And I got it for $27.
Oh wow. Again, you got the deals, Jay. I don't know where you're going, but
man, this stuff is so good. I'm gonna go lay on a park bench with it. All right, but anyway, you go hang out at the bus station with it. Now, get ready for a wipeout because we got the legendary Inverhouse going up against it. Very rare. Yeah, it is actually rare in Louisiana. The green plaid. Well, you know, you do the challenges, you see what happens. And now, show and tell real fast. didn't get any really great beer values except for this, which is awesome. Flying Tiger, 79 cents. So I was at Walmart Tuesday at Walmart. I'm looking around, buying my onions, buying my sausage and all of these things. So I find out at Walmart, didn't notice, they have an entire aisle. You heard me, an entire aisle of closeout wine and liquor. I'm like, well, that's shocking. So I started looking on the aisle. I see these two things on the aisle.
The Busker. Huh.
Irish whiskey, single grain, triple distilled, blended like Jameson, right? This is the Busker single grain, 44.3% alcohol from a company called Royal Oak Distilling, independent little company. So I'm like, I wonder what that costs. And then I see this on the shelf, the Bird Dog Kentucky Bourbon. I'm like, okay. I see the tag says regular price $26.99.
That looks like an older bottle because I've seen that before, but it looks like that looks like an old label. No,
let me explain that. If you get on the Bird Dog label, they don't even show this. They only show the, those rounded, medicine shaped bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I said that a lot of whiskey and beer companies make all their products and then they make a bunch more that they don't list.
Right. So that's
they don't list. But I've seen it around on the internet. It's still in play, but they don't put it on their website. Most of Bird Dog's products are flavored bourbons, like mint bourbon and
right.
Pumpkin flavor and so forth. But this is a tall bottle with a long neck. So I said $26.99. Okay, but they were selling it for $10. Oh,
whoa!
$31 for 10. $31 for 10. So that's $88 for 30. Now I don't know what you would do, John and Nile, if you saw $88 for 30, but I know what I did.
Yeah, I think I'd have to take that deal. I've never even heard of that the Irish whiskey brand. Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a little niche company, but it's around. It's kind of like one of those little things, got a following,
Yeah.
Got a nice little website.
Have you bought anything from the Salvage recently, Jay? Or Dave, I should say, from the Salvage Yard?
Well,
that's where his beer today came
Flying Tiger.
Okay, yeah. I meant the you mentioned the Stargator.
Oh, no.
The Strawberry Lager and the Andy.
Oh, David. Oh, David. Yeah, David's been living at the Salvage Store. That's his second home. He bought Two Hearted Ale, Strawgator, Andy Gator, all kind of craft beers over there in the last 2 weeks. Optimum, no, not Optimum, but all kind of craft beers over there in the last 2 weeks, and he's been getting them for 79 to 69 cents a can. Yeah, you heard me, 79 to 69 cents a can. So he's been going berserk over there,
There was a place like that I was telling y'all when I did my reviews, called the Wink the Hookup Store, and they would have all these different things. They had one time I see KBS, one time I saw some of the Abita line, some stuff from other stuff, not the usual Abita stuff, but the other stuff, the more limited release stuff, stuff from New York, stuff from Michigan, stuff from 6 Points, stuff from 7 Points Brewery. I was able to find a lot of things there. But the last time I was there in Mobile back in August, and I went there to see if they had anything, it was pretty much like the same stuff that I saw when I left. In fact, stuff that's been there maybe longer than 2 or 3 years. It's like, I think y'all need to do a little bit of house cleaning, get rid of some of this old stuff here. The cans looked a certain way. And I said, wait a minute, Ice House Edge got discontinued until it made its comeback late this year, of course. But there was some old cans of Ice House Edge, but a lot of other beers that are more, Rattlers and whatnot. And I just, when I went there in August, like, oh man, nothing's changed. I'm out. Boom.
Field goal for the Giants, 2013.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
If you're within one score,
That's it.
you always have a
Touchdown.
chance.
you always got a shot. Yeah, that's how much time's left.
It's the
It's
start
just
of third quarter.
half the third quarter is still left. A little bit less.
Oh
than half.
wow, that's funny. Okay.
There's still time.
I want to go to the chat really quick before we wrap this up. Robert's in the chat. He says nasty pumpkin beer. He's also talking about the Cutty Sark is good, should be much better than the Inver House. And he, like myself, he says he's not sure if he's ever seen the Busker Irish whiskey. And Bird Dog Bourbon is okay. Been a while since I had it. Not sure I did a video of it. Yeah, that's a really cool bottle. I like it's the top of the bottle too. It looked like it had like one of the rubberized actual corks that you have to pull out versus a screw top, and it had like the little seal that they used to do on the old like the old tax seal type label that goes across the top of the bottle, which is pretty neat. I like the old school bottles like that, or at least the old school looking bottles. Anyway, let's see. I think we're caught up on the chat. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining this morning. We appreciate it. One more thing. We were talking about that Lithuanian hard coffee. He said, Friar Tuck says it's from a brewery called Birdcough Brewery. I've never heard. Actually, I think I have heard of them before, but I don't know if I've had anything. Don't think I've had anything from that brewery, but I have heard of them. Okay.
I think Vladimir Putin said he intends that will eventually be a Russian brewery.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing about that. He was going to convert it over to a Russian brewery. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We're going on an hour here. We'll go ahead and wrap up the live show. I want to thank Mr. Kormaroff, Mr. Jean-Pierre, Mr. Louisiana Stout Governor Ronald J. Terrio for joining this morning. Really appreciate it. Good show. All A's this morning. I think the lowest score was a 92. So a very successful edition of Stout Sunday. Go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks to everybody for watching. Enjoy your football, your family, your friends, whatever it is that you do on this fine Sunday morning, afternoon. And we'll see you right here next week, 10:30 Eastern, for another edition of Stout Sunday. Until then, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.